Hello my viewers, welcome to Experience Abroad. So today I'm reaching you from the heart of Canada, Toronto City. I'm very excited to be here today because we are starting to warm up, and I know it's such an exciting time for us just to be out after being inside for almost 6 months. And it feels so good to be outside, and as you can see, there are so many people out here, and that's why I decided to record this in the park where everybody is getting out here. I'll try to be audible as much as I can, so if you hear noises in the background, I have no control of that for now, but I really want to be here, and I look forward to having a great experience with you. As you can see, the park is full. There's a lot of children playing. There's a lot of people. Today I'm recording with my phone, so I'll have even an opportunity to turn back my camera. Look at that. Today I'm using my phone, so I have the luxury of turning back the camera. So everybody is out here, as you can see, trying to enjoy warm weather after a long time. For those who do not know, we usually have 4 seasons each year, which are winter, spring, summer, and then fall. We're just about to end our spring, and everybody is out here trying to enjoy the warm weather. So I decided to give you just a little glimpse of the city of Toronto. Otherwise, if you are visiting for the first time, please subscribe, like, hit the notification bell so you are notified when I post the next video. I would really appreciate, even for the visiting viewers, if you watch my videos, please like. Also, don't forget to leave me a comment. Your feedback is very important to me, as it helps me know what you would want to watch in the next video. It gives me information and on what areas that you guys want me to cover. So please don't just watch, just make sure you leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this video, and I hope that this is going to be a learning experience for most of you and is going to benefit you. Otherwise, I don't want to waste much time. Let's go straight to the point.
Won't you take me home? Give me wings to fly. We can run away. Castle in the sky. Won't you take me home and give me wings to fly? We can be alone in the castle in the sky.
Welcome back, my viewers. So as I said, today we are going to do a question and answer session. I'm going to answer all your questions. So if you have asked a question in the past few weeks, your questions are going to be answered. So be sure to check them out. So the first question that I was asked was about please elaborate on the Canadian caregivers pilot visa. So as I said, I'll try to answer all these questions to the best of my ability. So the question was about the caregivers in Canada, and these people are called different names depending on where you come from. I come from Kenya in Africa, and they call them house helps. I know in some countries they call them nannies. So depending on where you come from, I just want you to understand what you're discussing, what is our topic of discussion in this case. So we are discussing the caregivers. So in Canada, they are called the caregivers, and there are different types of caregivers. Sometimes it can be someone who is helping to raise up the children. It can be someone helping with taking care of people who are probably not able to do chores for themselves. So whatever it is, kind of help is what we are talking about. And so, as I said, they call it caregivers. And the person who asked this question, they wanted to know how to go about the application of this caregivers visa in Canada. And I want to say, I know I have seen people, and these are not real agents, or they are not real, most of them are scammers, and they use this caregivers program to con people. And I want to make it clear in this video that caregivers program in Canada has been closed for quite some time, and it is only open to the people who are already in Canada. So if someone told you that there's something like this and they're going to help you, I just want you to know that this is a scam, that it is not real, because the real program has been closed for quite some time. It is not closed permanently, so it is good to keep checking. It might be opened in the future, and if that happens, I'll let you know. But as of today, it has been closed, and it is open to the applicants only who are in the country. So these are people who applied, for example, for 2 years, and they came and they did their 2 years, and probably the 2 years have expired. So it's open to them to apply and renew their visas again, maybe for another 2 years or more. So please don't be scammed about this. This is something that has been going on for quite some time. The next question was a question on someone saying that they want to know about scholarships in Canada. Scholarships in Canada. I just did a detailed video about scholarships in Canada. So anyone who is interested to know about it, please go and find that video in my channel. As I always say, my channel is Experience Abroad. So please click on the videos and scroll down to see where that video is. Scholarships in Canada. And one thing I want to say about scholarships is that that's something most of the time I post with short deadlines, because I post them as soon as they are available. Most of these scholarships open for a short time, and so I want to encourage you, just make sure that you keep checking my page. Every time there is a new scholarship, I always post it. So please keep checking what is posted in Experience Abroad Show page. Because for example, I did a video recently that had a very, very good scholarship. It was a full paid scholarship to study a master's degree in the United Kingdom. And it was something awesome, something good. And some people saw that video, and one person told me that they postponed to check it later, and this person didn't needed this scholarship. And when they went to check the video, it had expired, like the date of application had expired like yesterday. So please, as soon as you see these videos of scholarships, make sure that you check the details, make sure that you know the expiry date of the scholarship, because you don't want to miss such a golden opportunity. Some of this opportunity comes once in a lifetime, so don't waste your opportunities just because maybe you are doing something just put it somewhere, note it somewhere in a notebook that I'm going to watch and this video before the end of the day. Because if you do that, you never miss that very important information. And sometimes you may not even have time to go through all the details and to check everything. But one thing I want to encourage you always to check is the expiry date of the application, because that is what matters. Because if that passes you, then you not get an opportunity to do the application. And some of them are fully paid scholarships. Nowadays it's very, very hard to find a fully paid scholarship. So when you find it, please don't waste that opportunity. Make sure that you do everything that is instructed to do, just to maximize your chances of getting that scholarship. So the next question is about hello, can a nutritionist get a chance to work abroad, and how can I go about it? Hello, can a nutritionist get a chance to study abroad, to work abroad, and how can I go about it? This is a very, very good question, because I've seen people asking so many questions, especially about different careers. I want to clear the air. I want to tell you exactly as it is. I always say that in this channel we give information that is right information, and we are not here to tell you anything to please you. We are here to tell you the way it is on the ground. I know people may come out there because they are chasing your money, they are chasing after your hard-earned coins, just to please you and bring you closer to giving it away. But I will tell you things as it is, because I'm not after anything from you. So as we always say, information is power. So the person who asked this question asked if a nutritionist can travel to work as a nutritionist abroad. And I will tell you a clean no. Not because a nutritionist is not a learned person. That is not the reason why. The reason is because most of the jobs abroad, you will require something called certification. And for you to work abroad, you must have the certification in that area. And for you to get that certification, most of the time you must have studied in that country, or you must have been evaluated and your education equated to an equivalent of the same in that country. And you know, categories of some specialties like nutrition and things like that, those are not the kind most of the time that will be given the same equivalence, because most of the time what you'll be studying in Africa in terms of nutrition, it is going to be very different thing that will be studied in a different place like Asia or the United States, or the North America or Australia or wherever. So I want to say, and this one I want you to get me clear, and I'm not talking about the nutritionists alone. I'm not talking about the truck drivers alone, or any other course that you have done. If you are not an engineer, if you are not a doctor who have done something in medicine, if you are not someone who have done something in technology, those three areas are the most marketable areas abroad. And those are the areas you come from, wherever you are born from, and you get a job without going back to school. If you are not in these three categories, and I said medicine, and I talked about engineering, and I talked about technology. I know most of parts of the technology is engineering. So if you are not in those three categories, then if you relocate abroad, I want to prepare you psychologically. Most of the time you have to go back to school and learn. You have to go back to school. So check the most marketable careers abroad, and you will agree with me. They are either in medicine and engineering. Those are the two most marketable careers abroad. So if you don't fall in those two categories, then you must prepare to go and study abroad from scratch. That is the reality of the matter on the ground. So the next question is, a person was asking this question. I think I'm a little too old to relocate, but I would like my children to venture, say, high school. After high school, what do I need to know? That's a good question. And I want to start by saying, because also there have been so many people asking what is the age limit of relocating, how old should I be for me to know that it's too late for me to relocate. And I want to say that there is no age limit. If you are able to relocate, improve yourself, work, contribute to the economy, pay taxes, then you are good to go. It is never too late. So let me go back to the question, and the person is asking, I would like to have my children venture into it after high school. What do I need to know? So if you are here and you have children and you'd like them to study abroad, then probably the advice that I would give to you is we have so many videos in Experience Abroad about studying abroad. So probably you can start checking those videos if your children qualifies, and if they do, please don't hesitate to go ahead and try their luck. It is very, very good, especially when they are young. It's such a good time to venture into this in good time. So if you are able to do that, please make sure you scroll down the Experience Abroad channel. You will find a number of videos on study abroad. Some of them are fully paid scholarships. For example, in Norway, you don't need to pay a coin to study in Norway, be it undergraduate or whichever level. So please, if you have an opportunity to take your child there, go ahead and do the application. I've given a very detailed video about that, so please don't hesitate to do that. So if you are here and your parent who is asking, what can I do to take my children abroad, the best approach I can give you, I can advise you on as a parent, is to take them to school. I have done a video recently and I explained step by step how to go about applying for schools abroad, and I will continue doing more of these videos. So stay tuned, make sure that you check these opportunities so that there is nothing, so that you get to know which options are best for you and your child. So the next question is how to get courses related to security or courses offered to serving police officers. So I guess the person who asked this question is a police officer in Kenya, and I want to start by saying that most courses abroad, especially in the areas like forces, or the police, most of them are structured in a way to fit the police officers of that country. So I just want to make this person understand, for you to study specifically police courses, then you have to be ready to serve in that particular country. Otherwise, there's no way you're going to get police courses for another country that you are not going to serve. So if you're interested in remaining in that area, most of the countries requires you to be a citizen first. So if you have a way of immigrating abroad, then you can go back to school after you get the status and study the same courses, but to serve in that particular country. So I hope I have answered your question. So I've got the next question. The question is, can I work abroad as a driver? What should I have, please? The answer is yes, you can work abroad as a driver. But one thing I want to say is, for you to work abroad, you must find your way there. There's no way you're going to immigrate abroad as a driver. Most countries require a license from that particular country to work as a driver. So there's no way you're going to get a license in the United States when you're still in Kenya. There's no way you're going to get a license in Canada, a Canadian driving license, when you're still in Kenya. There's no way you're going to get an Australian driving license when you're still in Kenya or India or wherever you come from. So what do I want to say? That for you to work as a driver abroad, you have to find your way there. You have to do the right exams, and then from there you're going to get your driver's license. For each, I know like in the country where I live, in Canada, for you to work for you to get a driver's license, and by this I mean a full driver's license, you have to go through 3 steps. The first step is called a G1 step. You get a driver's license called G1. This license is that license you get after doing an exam on signs, road signs, and those classes kind of skills that you need to learn in classes. So after you have done that, then they give you an opportunity to sit for a test, and once you pass that test in class, from there they give you now an opportunity to do a second test called G2 test, which is a test that comes after you have stayed for a whole year, after you started the first level of a driver's license, that is G1. So they imagine that during that duration you are trying to practice as a driver, maybe with someone who is qualified, with a driver who is qualified. So then after that they give you an opportunity to sit for a test, not really a written test, but now a road test for the residential area, a place where the people live. That's the residential area. So they will give you that test, and if you pass, then they allow you to do the final driver's test, which is a very hectic test, because you have to be a very good driver to pass this test. And this is a test that will allow you to drive even on the highway. So once you pass the G2 test, then you have to stay for 2 good years before you qualify to go to the next level, which is a G license. That is a full driver's license. So once you have stayed for those 2 years, then you can go and sit for the last one, which is a G test. They will test you on the residential area, and they will test you on the highway. and they will also take you to places that you can park, so that they are sure that you can do all the skills, or you have all the skills that are required for a qualified driver. Once you pass that test, then you are qualified to work to get the final driver's test, which is a G test. And I want to say that it feels so good. I remember when I got my last driver's test, which is a G test, you feel like you have been born again, because like it's a tedious test. Some people fail like even 7-8 times, so, and it's something that you pay a lot of money for, so it's something that you require to prepare very well for. And I want to comment about people like us who come from a country where our driver's side is on the left, is on the right side. And so when you're going to do a test in a country where they have their steering wheel on the left, and they're driving on the opposite side of the road, even if you are a good driver at home, you have to set your mind again. It's such a hectic test, and I know most people who are abroad will tell you it is not easy, but if you practice well, if you are determined, then with time you get to get the skill and you acquire this particular very important test. So the person who is asking this question is referring to a driver's opportunity to drive as a skill, like as career. So for that, I also want to say you need another special kind of a driver's license, and I know every country have its own regulation. For example, in Canada, most of the truck drivers, you have to go back to school. Some schools you have to go for about 8 months to 1 year. So it all depends on how fast you are at it. So it depending on the country where you go to, you find their own regulations. So my point is, you cannot move from Kenya as a driver and go get into a truck and start driving abroad. It's a long process. So for those people who have been always asking this question, can I move abroad as a driver? The answer is no. You can move abroad and then do the right things, go through the right channels, so that you are able to qualify as a driver. But you cannot move directly from Kenya, from India, from Nigeria as a driver and go and start driving abroad. It takes quite some process. So you have to be ready to move through the processes for you to get that driver's license. I hope I have answered your question. So I will go to the next question. The person is asking, can I quit Kenyan military and be eligible to join the US Army? If yes, how? So once again, I will read the question. So the person is asking, can one quit Kenyan military and be eligible to join the US Army? If yes, how? The answer is not yes. The answer is no. The reason why the answer is no is because for you to be able to be eligible to join the US Army, you must be either a US citizen or a permanent resident of the United States. A person who has no status is not allowed to join the United States military. So you cannot quit Kenyan military to join the US Army. If you are in the US and you have the immigrant status, the status of staying and remaining permanently in the United States, then you are qualified to apply to join the US Army. If you are not, then you are not qualified. The other option would be if you applied for a green card today and you won a green card to go to the United States. Then when you have a green card and you're already in the United States, you are qualified to apply to join the US Army. I hope I have answered your question. The next question is, the person is asking, does Canada recognize Kenyan institution certificates like JKUAT, KU, University of Nairobi? If someone has a degree and a master's and is working, for example, as a procurement manager, as a finance manager, etc., can they get exact or closely related jobs in Canada? I would say yes and no. Canada recognizes other countries' certifications, but that does not mean that you are likely to get a job in the exact area or specialty that you studied. This is because I've explained that in other questions that you need a certain certification to work in that particular area. And as I said before, for example, for those people who will try to do like as express entry applications, other kinds of applications to Canada that uses the point system, whatever you did back home will help you. If you have a degree and above, that will help you get in. But that does not necessarily mean that you'll be qualified to work in that area. And to tell you the truth, and this is something that those people who live abroad, most of them do not tell you, that most of the degrees from back home will not help you work in the country where you relocate to. But those degrees or those certifications that you have from back home, they will help you get into an institution of study. They are going to help you to get into school, and they will even give you credits, but you are not likely to get a job as a finance officer because you'll be competing with the people who have studied in that country and they know all that is required, which you don't. So most likely you're not going to get that job. So my advice to you, if you move abroad or you're planning to move abroad, be ready to go back to school. Be ready to go back to school. It does not mean that your certifications are not recognized. It means that you may not be qualified or you may not have gone through the right preparation for that job in that country because you studied outside that country. Each country have its laws and regulations. For example, when it comes to things like the person mentioned something to do with finance. For example, there's a lot of taxation is a big issue in the West. Like you have to file for your tax. That is mandatory. Every year you have to do your tax. And we do things differently where we come from. I know we still file for tax where we come from, but in a different way. So you need to go back to school. You need to know how they do things. You need to get to know how they do it, because that is very important. Personally, having studied from back home and migrated to another country, I would say that when I went back to school, I realized that our way of doing things, our way of study back home, the difference is like heaven and earth. Heaven and earth. That I'll tell you without fear of contradiction. It is not the same. Like it is totally different. So you need to go to school to learn their way. The culture and everything is different. So it is important. It is not mandatory. Some people have chosen not to go back to school, and most that have chosen that route have remained doing manual jobs or jobs that you don't want to do. the jobs that you will not have done back home. And that is not what you want to do when you come abroad. You want to, you want to move to a higher level than where you are before. So why should you go abroad and do things that you will not have done when you are back home? So the solution is, is just going back to school. Be ready to go back to school. There is no age limit. There is no a time that is too old for you to go back to school. And one thing I would say about the West, once you have the status, they will support you as much as they can. They will help you, they will support you, and you will get, there's no limit. I know where we come from, there's a lot of limits in terms of finances, but abroad there's no limit. You can do as much as you want, until you get to where you want to go. The next question is, what can I do if I want to apply for the F1 visa interview at the embassy and all the dates have been fully booked, yet the school semester is about to begin? How do I go about it? So this is a person that is asking a question about the US study visa. I know that the semesters just started. We are in May, so the summer semester just started for most schools. Probably this person was referring to the maybe summer semester, I don't know. But I know right now there have been a lot of issues, especially with the COVID situations, and so many embassies have been closed, some have been opening and closing again. And I know this is a situation all over the globe, and I know so many people have been having issues with their F1 visas, their study visas. So the person is asking what they can do, because the embassy has not given them a date for interview, yet they are about to start a semester. So they want to book the interview as fast as they can so that they don't miss out on the start of the semester. What I can tell you, if you're in such a situation, you have to write to the school that have admitted you and tell them to extend your I-20. You have no way of influencing the embassy to give you an interview before time. So what I would say is you're supposed to write to the school, make them understand your situation, and let them know what the situation is on the ground, and tell them that you are asking or requesting to have them extend your duration so that you are able probably to start in the next semester. If they don't have your courses in that other semester, then you have no choice but to start on the semester that your course will be available. That's the best that I can answer that question. Yes. The next question is a person saying, I'm a teacher. Is there a possibility of doing the same job in Canada? If yes, how can I go about it? Yes, there is a possibility of you doing the same job if you choose to remain in that path. But what I can tell you, that the certification of becoming a teacher in Canada is a tedious process. You have to have your documents evaluated once you are in Canada. You cannot do this outside Canada. So that means you have first to travel in Canada. You first have to get status in Canada. Once you have status, by status I mean you should be in a situation where you have a work permit to work in Canada, and you cannot get a work permit to work in Canada until you are a resident of Canada. So a resident, I mean a permanent resident or a citizen of Canada. So you have to get the status first before you think about working in Canada. Once you have the status and you are already in Canada, then you can apply to the teaching body in your province and tell them that you are a teacher back home from your country where you came from, and you'd like to continue in the same career, and then they will ask you to submit your documents. For example, if you are a teacher and you are working, for example, in Kenya, you are working for the Teacher Service Commission, they will ask you for documents from the Teacher Service Commission They will call them, they will clarify, they will get they will verify the information that you give them and make sure for sure you are a teacher, and then they will look at your documents and tell you if you are qualified to teach in Canada, if the courses that you did back home are enough for you to teach in Canada. And if they are not, which most of the time is not, they will tell you to go back to school and do the specific courses that you haven't done. Most of the time some people have been told to add courses for a year or two, so you have to do that. That is part of the process. And once you have gone to school and added the courses that you didn't have, then they will give you a go ahead to apply for the teaching certificate after you have met all the requirements. Something else I want to bring to your attention for anybody who might be planning to teach in Canada is that there is a waiting list for teachers. So a waiting list means that it's going to take you, for example, if you are in a place that is very competitive, or provinces that are very competitive like Ontario, there is a waiting list of almost 10 years. You have to wait for all this long for you to get an opportunity to teach in Canada. So just to give you a heads up about teaching, that is the situation. But anyways, if you are able to get to other provinces that have less number of years for wait list, then that's much better. But that is the current situation. So maybe you can do more research on it, but that is the basic information that you need to know about teaching in Canada. The next question is, I'm contemplating moving to Alberta, but I'm not sure of the host. What are the issues surrounding accommodation? So the person is saying that they are thinking about moving to Alberta. Alberta is a province in Canada. Those who do not know that Canada is divided into provinces, they call them provinces stroke states. So if you call it a state, it's okay. But mostly here in Canada we use the name provinces, and there are quite a number of them. And this person is saying that they are considering relocating to Alberta, and they are saying that they have an issue with the host. They don't have a host, if I got it right. They are not sure if they are going to get a person to host them, and so they're asking what are the issues surrounding the accommodation. So that is the question. And I would like to say, first of all, if, for example, I don't know which ways that you're planning to use to relocate, but most of the time you will require a host, and it is your duty to get one, because when you're moving to a new place, common sense have it that you'll not be able to do much without someone to guide you around. So host is important. So I would advise you, if you can get one, that's very good. It's good sometimes to connect with people, especially probably those that come from your home country. They will kind of help you or guide you around. So I would advise you to look for a person that knows someone in Alberta, and maybe they can connect you with a person that is willing to accommodate you, because I wouldn't be recommending for you probably thinking about other choices of accommodation like maybe B&B. I wouldn't be recommending that kind of an arrangement, or even booking in a hotel. You can do that for a short while, but I would say that it's very expensive. You'll be looking at quite a big budget. So if you're not ready for that, and still, even when you book into those hotels, you still need a person to guide you around. And this place it's not the same as back home, where everybody is out there and they are willing to take you from one place to another. In this side of the world, everybody is busy in their own businesses, and it is going to be a quite hectic situation for you if you don't have anyone to guide you through. So my advice is, look for someone, make sure that you are adding into a place that you have a host or someone waiting for you. The next question, someone is saying, I tried Canada visa through conference and was denied. Should I try again like through student, or forget about Canada? Your view on going to the US via student, and I have a family. So this is a person saying that they tried to get a Canada visit visa and they were denied, and they are asking if they stand a chance of trying other means like a student visa. And my advice is yes, why not? You tried a different kind of visa and you are denied for a reason that I do not know. If you are able to prove that your situation have changed and you are able to do the requirements and meet all the requirements, because visit visa and student visa have all different requirements. So you might not, sometimes you might not meet the requirements for a visit visa and you happen to meet the requirements for a student visa. So I would give it a try, why not? Also, you asked about my view on trying a US study visa. The same is, why not? Try both. Sometimes you could try a US visa and probably they give you never know. I would go ahead and try both of them. If it is your dream to relocate abroad, try it. Sorry, the next question is, I worked in UAE area, willing to relocate abroad, most UK, US, since Canada is like a nightmare, having read this post few days ago. Now my question is, how soon can I move? Can one get to live with her kids abroad? That's a very important question. This is a person that is saying that they previously worked in UAE, and I would say about moving with kids abroad, you need to be a person probably that is moving as a permanent resident. If you have a job offer, someone is offering you a job and is sponsoring you, you are likely to move with your children. If you are moving, maybe you are relocating as a student. For example, most of the PhD students are able to relocate with your family, as long as you are able to prove that you have the resources, you have the money to sustain them within the time that you are going to be in your program of study. As long as you prove that, then you can relocate together with your family. And that one is not easy, because each family member requires like 1.5 M. So you have to calculate that amount times the number of family members that you have. You have to have that money in the bank for you to get a visa to move abroad together as a family to study abroad. So as I said before, if you have a person that is sponsoring you for work, or if you have a green card, or if you have maybe you are relocating as a permanent resident, probably through express entry and other point system, then those ones are going to help you relocate with your children. But if you are relocating for any other reason, I would not lie to you that it's going to be quite a number of years, depending on the country that you relocate to, before you are able to join with your family. And most of the people living abroad, they initially relocated on their own, and once everything improved and they got the status, then they were able to be rejoined again with their families. So that's an option that you can consider. But I won't lie to you that it's going to be easy to relocate abroad with your children. That is for sure. Question is about hi, what does it take to go to UK? I'm a home care practitioner. Very soon I'll be dropping a video that is related to this, and it is a detailed video with all the steps you need to relocate to the UK. So I would advise you to stay right here, stay tuned, and you'll be able to get the steps that you need to relocate as a health practitioner. The next question is about, it's really not a question but a kind of a statement. The person is just written something about invitation letter to the United States. So I guess this is a person asking how they can get the invitation letter to the United States. You need to talk to a person who is a citizen or a permanent resident of the United States. That's the only person who can invite you to states. So this person must have the status. They must be either citizens or permanent residents of the United States. You can also maybe try to attend a conference. For example, if you work in an area, for example, that you are interested in study of something that interests you, and there is a conference about that, then you can pay for the conference and attend that conference. And the people holding the conference, they are going to send you the invitation letter to the United States. But that will be between you and those that have arranged that conference. Next question is, educators on childcare of preschool children, how affordable is daycare services? Oh my gosh, I want to tell you that the most expensive thing abroad is raising children. And that is why some of us who have come from a place on earth where we get so many children, and we don't understand when we hear people who get one child or two. I now completely understand why they do have those number of children. This is because the cost of raising children abroad is crazy. It is insane. Like, it is out of this planet, and it is all over in the West, everywhere. I know some countries have made different arrangements about that, but I can tell you, you'll be looking at about 1,000 plus. That is over 100,000 Kenya shillings per month for one child. That is the payment you make to a daycare in Canada. And I know everyone is looking at the same, even those who are in the States. So childcare abroad is very expensive. I know people try to come up with different ways of arrangements just to try and cover themselves, but as I told you, that is the situation abroad. The childcare is very, very, very costly. You have to figure that out, and that's why you find most people, some of them, they usually relocate, get their children. For example, if they are young couples, make sure you have your 2 children or 3 or whatever number you want. Take care of them for a number of years until they go back to school. Then you can start working. Then you can start going to school. But when your children are young, you have to take care of them, or you have to make arrangements, which is not going to be cheap. That is the situation. The next question is from someone saying, I would like to relocate to Canada with my kids. I have a current West evaluation. Is it possible to get a job? I would say I'm not able to answer that question because I don't know your area of specialty, and that's why I continue insisting in this page and in the Experience Abroad Facebook page. If you're asking a question, please be specific so that I'm able to answer your question accordingly, because I need to know what is your area of specialty. This is a very broad area. If I'm not able to answer until I know what is your career, because if you are in careers like that are marketable, like engineering or maybe medicine, then probably there are means that you can get a job, not really as a doctor, but something that will help you relocate, and then you are able to start your process of starting your career, even if it means you have to add some courses or do some exams for certification. So that is what I would advise you. Please ask your question in more specific way, because if you don't, then I'm not able to answer that question accordingly. The other thing that I would like to say probably is sometimes there are programs like Express Entry that helps you get to Canada through the points that you have. But for that, as I've always said, you have to have a master's degree most of the time. If you have a master's degree and you meet the requirements, you meet all the requirements, then you're going to have an opportunity to relocate together with your children. So the next question is, can you assist on how to get a job in either Canada or US or any other countries? As I always insist and as I always say, it is not easy to get a job from your home country. You have to be in that country for you to get a job offer. It is not easy to get a job in the West. Even for those who are in those countries, it is not easy. But in some few special situations, there can be an opportunity arising for people who are educated abroad. And in such situations, I always post the opportunities in this page. I recently posted an opportunity available for teachers, and if you are a teacher, please check that out. It is an opportunity available for teachers to teach in the United States. So if you haven't watched that video, please take your time, go to Experience Abroad channel and scroll through the videos, and you're going to see that opportunity for teachers to teach in South Carolina in the United States. So if there's any opportunity arising abroad, I'll always come and post it here. But to tell you the truth, it is not easy to get a job abroad when you're still in your home country. And in some situations, there are programs, like in Canada, they have a program that they call Federal Skilled Worker. In that program, if you happen to get an employer who is willing to employ you and sponsor you, then you'll be lucky to move abroad with your family. So please look for such programs. I have a video that I've done on the easiest ways to relocate to Canada. Check it out if you haven't done so, and that is going to help you. But to say the truth, most of the time you are not able to get a job in the West until you have relocated to that country. It is not easy because for most jobs you need to have a work permit for you to get a job abroad, and it is not easy to get a work permit from where you are. So that is the current situation. The next question is somebody saying that last year I applied for a green card lottery. Come May this year, I was selected. However, I had my old generation passport, which I didn't use while applying. My question is, so I don't know if you're meant to say I did use. Can that make me get disqualified? Number two, would you advise I continue with the process? I'm a little bit confused because you're saying that you had your old generational passport, so you didn't use that. So what did you use? Because a passport was a requirement for you to enter that. So if you did not meet the requirement, then you don't qualify. I don't know what you mean by you did not use your old generation passport, but what I think is you must have used something so that you could be you could have been selected, because there's no way your application could have gone through if you didn't meet the requirement of the passport. I know there are people who even put numbers just like that, because you don't have a passport, you just guess a number and you put it there, and it is not the right one. If you are such a person who does something like that, you would be wasting your time to go on with this process, because anything you write when you are applying for a green card, you are going to be caught, and you are not going to go away with that. You have used your money, and you are going to be disqualified for lying. So please, I would advise even those who are going to be doing these applications later in life, please say the truth. If you've been asked for a passport, put the one that you have that has your name. You can explain and say that I didn't have the new one, I just had the old one, so I put the number of the old passport, but now I have the new one. Everybody understands that. But if you just put a number and you don't care, and the application goes and you're selected, the truth is you will not go anywhere, because you'll be disqualified from that point of lying. So say the truth always, say the truth all the time. My advice is, if you use the right documents, if you put in the right passport number, please go on with the application. Don't waste such a golden opportunity, and congratulations to you and to your family. So the next question is, can I get a job of taking care of the elderly come next year? This is a very, very broad question. The person is not specific. I don't know which country that the person is referring to, but what I would like them to know is that for you to get a job, you have to have some skills, you have to have a short course, you have to go to school a little bit and study something about the area of work that you want to work in. So whichever country you relocate to, you need to have at least some background information on what you're supposed to do. So you cannot just travel today and tomorrow you have the job of taking care of the elderly. There is a process. For example, I will tell you for sure in Canada you are not able to work for that. You have to acquire a certificate called PSW. You have to be in school for quite some time, about 6 months, to acquire that certificate so that you are qualified to work with the elderly. That is the process in Canada. I don't know which country that interests you. Those working in Australia, how do I apply for a work visa? Those working in Australia, how do I apply for a work visa? I think I just explained in another question that you cannot get a work visa from your home country. You have to be in that country to get a work visa. So you have to be in Australia for you to get a work visa to Australia. So at this point you should be thinking about ways to relocate to Australia, but not how to get a work visa to Australia, because you cannot get a work visa from your home country. So I would encourage you first to pursue ways to relocate to Australia, and then once you get to Australia and you're able to get the Australian status, then you can start pursuing a work permit. The question is, does travel history reflect in the new passport? Does the travel history reflect in the new passport? The answer is no. Your travel history does not reflect in the new passport. However, once you get the new one, you need to attach the old passport to the new one at the back. So anyone wanting to look at your travel history, they'll just open that old passport and they'll find the history of all the places that you have been to. The other question is about how do I apply for green card and what are the qualifications. I recently did very detailed video about that. So please, if you want to know how to apply for green card, which is the official website, please check the video that I did about green card very recently. It is in Experience Abroad channel. Just click on the videos, scroll down, and you're going to get all the information that you need. So the next question is, I am a plant operator and always dreamt of relocating abroad. Do they consider such skills? I would say those are very important skills. However, each country have its own regulations. So if you have such skills and you happen to get a way to relocate abroad, I would say that that's a very marketable skill, and all you need to do is to visit organizations or bodies that license the people who are qualified in that area. Most of the time they will give you a test or they will tell you what to do, and so if you are qualified, they are going to give you the certification. If you are not, they are going to advise you on what to do. So I would say that's something that I know you can pursue and get it abroad, because it's one of the most marketable skills, especially those that are more hard skills. They are quite good skills to have. So there's a question about scholarship to UK. I recently did a video on a scholarship to UK. The scholarship unfortunately expired on April 9th. That was the last date of application. So if you didn't apply to that scholarship, it's a yearly thing. You can check it again next year. I gave even the website where you're supposed to do the scholarship application. It is a fully paid scholarship, so all you need to do is to keep checking. If I get other opportunities that are open, I'll be able to open them to post them soon. So the next question is, advise us on visit visa to the US and tell us if the embassies are still issuing visas. One thing I would say about visit visa to the US, one, you need an invitation letter. You need somebody inviting to the US. So without that, you will not be able to get a visit visa to the US. You need an invitation. Number two, you need to prove that you have funds that are going to sustain you during your visit. So you have to have enough money in your account that is going to sustain you during the period that you're going to be in the US. And sometimes people ask a question and they say, what if the person who is going who is giving me the invitation is the person taking care of me? That is quite a sensitive thing, and most of the time it's not considered because the person who is giving the invitation is not responsible and is not responsible about so the most important thing is you have to prove that you have funds available for you during your stay in the US. You also need to prove that you have financial, social ties back home. Without those, you are not going to get that visa. You have to show and prove that you have something that is tying you to your home country that you'll be coming back to. If you don't have that, then it's going to be hard for you to qualify for the visit visa to the United States. The next question is USA, Canada, and Australia, which one is the best? And this happens to be my last question. I know we have covered quite a lot, and I hope that you have benefited from these questions, and I'll be doing quite a number of sessions like this so that we clear the doubts that most of you have. US, Canada, and Australia, I would say that's something that I cannot decide for you. Sometimes you have to experience all the three for you to judge, but I would say that go with whatever your heart desires. Always there's something in your heart that tells you that where you belong. All the time, when you are in a situation where you are supposed to choose, there's one country that your heart likes better than the other. So I wouldn't say that this is better than the other. I know there's a lot of information online. For example, I did a video like 2 months ago that I compared Canada and the United States. You can also go and look at that video. You can see which country is better in whatever. I did that comparison recently. I might be considering even doing that other comparison in future for Australia, Canada, and United States. But what I would like to say is go for what your heart desires. That is the best country for you. So my viewers, we have come to the end of this video, and as I said, I'm going to set time apart just to make sure that I'll be having these sessions every other week or in 2 weeks. Sometimes I'm so busy, I happen not to find the time I want to do all this, but I'll try my level best just to make sure that we have some of these sessions as many times as possible, because these are going to clear so many people's doubts. So if you have questions, I'll be posting this kind of questions every week. So you're going to be posting them at this kind of threads for question answer sessions. So if you are here, you have a question, for now you can post it in the comment box of this video in the YouTube. I will be able to answer that question. You can also post the questions as a main post in the Experience Abroad show page anytime, and I will answer them as soon as I see them or get the time to do that. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video. For those who are visiting for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I post the next video. Even those who have been returning viewers, I would encourage you, once you watch this video, don't just watch and go. Please always remember to like it. Remember to leave me a comment so that I know what we need to prepare for the next video. That feedback is very, very important to me. Until another time, God bless.